What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Ollie Footy, and another year, another Barca elimination. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Now, I'm not gonna run any agendas, but it's very weird. It's very weird. I think last year we all kind of came to that conclusion, everyone, including Barca fans, that yeah, this high line, it's not gonna work against the very best of the best, right? And Atletico Madrid, maybe not the best of the best, but when you play a team six times, damn sure they're gonna catch on, right? And it's another year, another well, I guess it's the second year. So the second year in a row, really, the High Line undoes Barca and absolutely capitulates their season. Even if Barcelona win La Liga, which they most likely will, you cannot tell me Barcelona had a successful season, right? You could say there's injuries, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, you were level, right? You're level. You had a chance to go 3-2. Fermin Lopez misses that opportunity. And from there, Atletico score soon after. And it's just, I don't know. I think with Barcelona, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. You can blame the refereeing. People say almost should have had a pen, etc. But at the end of the day, nobody told you to play that high of a line. Constantly, I mean, this is a 70 something minute. My goodness, man. Sorloth threw on goal. It's just bad decision making from Eric Garcia. But at the same time, your press has to be there if you're going to press, right? If you're going to press, it has to be crisp and succinct. And if you're not going to press, you also got to do it crisply. And whatever you do, it has to be collective, right? And that's the thing with Barcelona, right? It's collectively just disjointed in the press, especially out of possession against the top teams, and especially out of possession against an Atletico Madrid who has played you six times, right? They know what to do. It's a glaring weakness. And to their credit, I want to give Barcelona credit before I start going into them. All right, Lamine Yamal was sensational. You can't really say too much about the others, but Lamine Yamal was sensational. Ferran Torres had a very good game as well. All right, Fermin Lopez had a solid game. I thought Dani Olmo had a good game, but really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because your coach has set you up in a way that you're not going to succeed. Okay, and I think this is my main point that I'm trying to get to. I love what Hansi Flick has proposed to football, right? I love the absolute high octane, high flying offense that is Barcelona of the last 2 years, right? It's been incredible to watch. Even if you're a Madridista, like you would love watching Barcelona play because if you love football, you love how Barcelona have been playing the last 2 years. With that being said, if you're trying to win the Champions League, you have to come up with a different option. You have to tweak your tactics to better suit your players. It's as simple as that. And Hansi Flick doesn't do that, right? Hansi Flick, he's sticking to his guns. He's like, no, we're gonna play this high line. Even after you concede seven versus Inter, you're gonna keep doing that. And you could say the Highline wasn't the only reason they lost today, right? Obviously, they missed a lot of opportunities, but that's the reason you conceded, right? That Lookman goal. I mean, Griezmann, Atleti in general just played through Barcelona with ease, right? It was like I think Llorente to Griezmann, Griezmann first time pass to it might have been Simeone, yeah, Simeone. So whoever it was, bro, but it's a first time pass. Barcelona keeps getting caught out because they got basically two defenders on the halfway line and everybody else playing man to man, trying to press, and they're coming late to their presses. So it's a whole disjointed mess in midfield, and we're only in the 30th minute. And now you've got Simeone or whoever one on the outside on right going down versus your center back. And then on the other side, you have Lookman, fast as hell, obviously scored a Europa League hat trick. Like you have an elite attacker on the other side making an easy run for Kunde who can't catch up because he's trying to, play the line, play the offside, right? So he's already delayed in the recovery run, and boom, easy goal. All of that momentum you had after you went up 2-0, gone gone. You made it level on aggregate, but the way you played led to this, right? It led to how you conceded. Honestly, Atleti should have scored more as well. Obviously, Barcelona missed some chances, but Atleti should have scored a few, right? And then that red card. It's all the same. It all boils down to the same thing, okay? And I think Hansi Flick, in deciding to stick to his guns and not tweak his tactics for his players, is just going to keep getting this. Now, I don't want to like get too ahead of myself and start saying things like, okay, just blow it all up, start all over, because we kind of have a tendency to do that, right? It's very extreme. Like it's like even a societal thing, right? It's like, well, if you're not gonna win the UCL, just blow it up, right? That's not true. Any club would rather consistently be in quarterfinals and semifinals. And you got to remember where Barcelona came from, right? They were not even making round of 16s. They weren't making knockouts. They were going to the Europa League and getting knocked out over there, right? They were going to Frankfurt and getting knocked out, and then getting knocked out by Man United from Ten Hag, which was a good United team, but like you know they were not making UCL knockouts for a while. So we got to respect what Hansi Flick has done, but at the same time you're trying to get that next step, right? This is supposed to be the second biggest club in the world. You're trying to make semifinals consistently. And if your tactics on the pitch aren't conducive to that, what is the point, right? It's tough. I think like I'm not gonna out here and say Hansi Flick has to leave Barcelona. No, he's probably their best coach since Enrique, right? I mean, Valverde was pretty good, but and respect to Xavi as well, but he's probably their best coach, right? He's made them back into a serial European contender, which is pretty much all you could ask for if you're a Barcelona fan. But there has to be some sort of, like the clenching, or like I'm trying to find the word, like there has to be a click, right? Like you can't just constantly put guys like Garcia and Gerard Martin in these situations. They're not built for that. You have to somehow draw the most out of your team, even with amazing tactics, because amazing tactics generally require amazing players, right? If you're gonna play on the halfway line with two or three defenders only, right? Then that's like fine if you have, Van de Ven, or, Pacho, Gabriel Saliba, even like fast defenders, right? Like guys who can recover really well, Schlotterbeck, etc. Right? Maybe even Konate. Like I'm just thinking of really athletic center backs right now. But you have Eric Garcia and Gerard Martin. You know what I mean? Like drop it a little bit, just take it some time out of it. It's tough, man. I don't necessarily blame this loss on the players as much as I do on the coach, because you only do so much, man. If your coach is putting you in a tough position, it's like, you got to listen to the coach at the end of the day. But it's so frustrating, I think, even as a person who's not a Barca fan, to like see a club have this one clear flaw. Everybody knows what the flaw is, and yet year after year it didn't get addressed. Right? It didn't get addressed. I think if you ask Hansi Flick right now, today, he's not gonna tell you, yeah, you know what, maybe I should have dropped the line. And all good coaches are stubborn. Sure, they'll stick to their guns, they'll stick to their ideas. But instead, he'll say, oh no, we should just scored more. But when your team can't score, help them out, bro. Help them out. Like you have the game at 2-2. It's tough, man. It's tough. Unfortunately, Barcelona are getting eliminated. Not that unfortunate, but man, I think of some of the player storylines here, right? Obviously, Lamine Yamal, who you could say is still on track for a Ballon d'Or, considering the World Cup is up, but is coming up this summer. But quarterfinal elimination does not help the case at all. I mean, if anything, it makes the guys at Bayern, their case is a lot stronger. Potentially some PSG guys, although I think the PSG attacking numbers aren't quite all the way there. It'd have to take something really special at the World Cup as well. Like if you think of a Dembele or Vitinha, João Neves, Nuno Mensch, who's obviously the best left back in the world, but who's been incredible this season. But let's get back to the Barcelona players, right? Lamine Yamal was incredible today. I mean, he was absolutely ruthless today, taking on any and everyone. I mean, getting an early goal definitely helps his performance overall. But I mean, he was creating at all costs. Obviously, he had that great Travella to Fermin Lopez. But man, is it is it? I don't know. I feel like it's almost wrong to feel bad for Lamine Yamal and under like just let me cook, okay? Because a part of me does feel bad, but at the same time, you go and ask Barcelona fans, you go and ask them last year, they tell you, oh yeah, Koundé's the best right back in the world. Oh, Balde's better than Nuno Mensch. Oh, Pedri's the best in the world. By the way, Pedri was not great today. I mean, I know the standards for him are pretty high, but this was not, a signature match by any means. I felt like he got lost in the match a bit, and obviously the red card doesn't help. But I expected a little more out of Pedri. But yeah, Pedri's, Barcelona fans will tell you Pedri's the best in the world. Koundé was the best right back in the world over Hakimi. They'll tell you, Lewandowski's better nine than Mbappe, which is probably true. But, they'll tell you all these things, right? How incredibly talented the squad is. So then why couldn't they get it over the line? Yeah, you didn't have Rafinha, but Rashford's supposed to be the best backup left wing in Europe, right? Like they have the players, according to their fans anyway. And it kind of just exposes you to the actual truth about their players, right? They're great, but are they elite? Are they good enough? I'm looking at Kunde. No, Kunde had a great season last year, but this year far from it, right? It's greatness is also longevity and consistency. I'm looking at Balde. I'm looking at Cancelo. Oh, not Cancelo. Cancelo came in and took over Balde's spot, right? Although I know Balde's also been dealing with some injuries. But like you look at all these things, and it's like if you look at the squad, they're supposed to be the best, according to Couleurs anyway. And you cannot beat Atletico de Madrid, or I guess you beat them today, but not over two legs. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. But I think the first point of blame has to be Hansi Flick because you're just not helping your players out. I think the problem for Barcelona is I think Hansi Flick offers something really cool to the game, right? It's almost unstoppable. But you need an elite squad to do it. In Barcelona, do they have the resources for that? I don't know. Can they go out in the summer and get two high level center backs? Can they go and get, a high level number nine? I mean, Ferran Torres was pretty great today. But like, can you go and get that, or does La Masia still spit those out of nowhere? I don't know. I really don't. I really don't. I think today showed you that the highs and the lows of Barca, right? You saw the absolute best and the absolute worst, right? You saw what makes Barca so tough to beat and so tough to come up against, but also why they're not at the very top, top three or so clubs in Europe. Maybe they need better personnel. Maybe they need more, suitable coaching. And I'm not suggesting they switch managers, but I think the problems are pretty apparent. So now you're looking at Barcelona's season. You're outside Atleti, not only in the Copa del Rey, but also in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yes, you're going to win La Liga. Is it really a good season? I don't think anyone will tell you that because you won La Liga last year. But on top of that, you were in the semifinals of the Champions League last year, right? You were this close. You were just a few minutes away from being in the final. It's tough. I hate to, it's tough that seasons come down to what happens in the Champions League, but it's make or break. I think football is sort of headed in this way where a lot of people, maybe for better or for worse, I think probably for worse, but a lot of people are only giving a lot of credence to, or a lot of credibility to what teams do domestically as far as, you're winning your league. They really only give that to England, maybe Italy, maybe. And, I feel like team or leagues where the competition's not as, just varied, right? Where it's a two horse or a one horse race how at least many people like to describe it, like the Bundesliga, like Liga with France, or like, sorry, not with France, start with PSG, or like La Liga, where it's really a two horse race, right? when you win those, it's like, okay, you win those all the time. That's at least what they say. You still have to go out and win it. I think it should be valued. But if we're following that logic, Barcelona had a failure of the season. Like it's tough to say because you're Spanish champions. You're champions of Spain. But and you won the Super Cup this year, right? But I mean, this team, Atletico Madrid, trails you in the league by like 20 plus points. How are you losing to them over 180 minutes? So it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, but hey, Barca made the sandwich. Simple, simple as that, man. Barca made the sandwich. And by Barca, I mean Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick made the sandwich. We'll see what they do in the summer. And it's tough. Like, it's actually so sad when your team like starts talking about summer transfers. You know it's over once you start talking about, all right, we need to get this guy in the summer and this guy because this guy sucks. When you start talking about that, you know your season's done. You know it's over. But that's what it is for Barca. They'll win the league in a few weeks, and that'll be great. But yeah, definitely not the kind of season they wanted this year. At least not what they planned. And it's unfortunate, but really, I don't think they have anyone else to blame but themselves in that cursed high line. But yeah, that's been Ollie Footy, man. Make sure you guys look out for my PSG Liverpool recap coming right after this. Until next time, it's been your boy. We out.